Yes, there we are, guys. There we are. Welcome. It is Friday, and still we have a show. Yes, it's an extra show, an extra drink with Brink today, because there are so many interesting campaigns and indie creators that I like to talk with and introduce to you. So, welcome everyone to A Drink with Brink, where I talk with other indie creators about their lives and their hopes and their dreams and their books and their campaigns, because I'm done with the mainstream, guys. I'm done with mainstream entertainment, and indie is where the passion is. Yes, so I've been working today on setting up a FundMyComic campaign. So, as you know, Perfect 10 issue 4. Issue 4, guys, is now on Indiegogo. Go check it out. The link is in the description. Go check it out. And we are funded on Indiegogo. Thank you all so much. Thank you all so much for the support. We are so happy. And I promised myself, once we were funded, I would build the campaign on FundMyComic, but it won't be the same campaign. It will be an extension of this campaign, because FundMyComic is a different platform with a different setup system. So it's a light version and it has something extra. I hope I can show you soon. Okay. Right. I saw that in the chat was Mike. He left a message in the chat. Dave, I'll be working till 11 p.m. Netherlands time, but I'll watch your replay. Have a great drink and a great evening. Thank you, Mike. Have fun at work, and hello from the replay. Hello. All right, guys, I put the link to today's campaign in the chat. It is pinned, so go check it out. While it's time for me to bring up the guest for today. It's a brand new guest, never been on the show before, which is awesome. So I can introduce new people to you, and you to new people. So let's do this, guys. Let's do this. Let's bring on the guest of the hour. May I have a very warm welcome for Mr. Paul Monsky.
Hello, Dave. Nice to meet you.
Hello, Paul. Hello. How are you, man?
I'm doing great. It's a great day. A little rainy outside, but good for me.
Yeah, it's rainy, so it's streaming day, streaming time.
Yep, exactly.
Right. Okay, right. So before we talk about anything else, this is a drink with Brink. So I need to ask you, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking zero lemonade. Um, uh, sugar-free lemonade, basically.
Right,
Yeah,
sugar-free. Wow,
yeah.
sounds delicious.
That's what I'm allowed to have right now. So
Right, sure. It's still early there, right?
yeah, yep,
Still early. You're from the United States,
yes.
so yes, right. Okay, Paul. So um, you are a comic book creator. Did or are
I
you?
I am now. That's
You are now, right? So is
um, I made comic books. I wrote comic book stories as a hobby for years, um, but I had a day job, and um, so I did a lot of work for a company in the United States called AC Comics. They have a book called FemForce.
I
Um,
know Fem4.
it's the longest running independent title uh, going. It's almost 40 years now that FemForce itself has been published. The company's over 40 years old.
Wow.
So they were the original independent publisher, one of the first ones. Them and Pacific and Eclipse and companies like that were at the dawn of the direct market. They're the only one that's still publishing.
Holy
Um,
shit.
so that's kind of I became a fan of the FemForce comic book, and that eventually led me into writing some stories for them. And that eventually, once I retired, led me to doing my own crowdfunding of my own characters.
Okay. All right. All right. Welcome, John Celestri. Good afternoon, Mike. It's 2 in the afternoon here in KY. What's KY?
KY is Kentucky, which is where I'm from originally.
Oh, Kentucky. Right. Right.
Um, I don't know where John is from. I'm from Louisville.
Right. Okay. So how did you get this job writing FemForce? Did you solicit work to them?
No, well, sort of, I guess, maybe. So I was a fan of the FemForce comic book,
Hmm.
and when I first got on the internet back in the mid '90s, everybody had a fan page or a personal web page. That was the thing, to set up your personal web page. A lot of people had like fan sites. They were all for Marvel or DC characters. So I didn't want to just be another person with a fan site for Wonder Woman or whatever.
Hmm.
So FemForce was my favorite comic. So I started a fan site for FemForce. There were no others at the time. Or there were one or two others, but it wasn't a huge amount. And eventually that site grew and became the official fan club of the FemForce was through that website. And I got to know the publisher. And I would go around to conventions. I started going to conventions and collecting sketches of FemForce characters from artists at conventions. One of those artists, who I later commissioned for a piece, was interested in drawing a story for FemForce. So
Hmm.
he asked me if I wrote a story and he drew it, would they publish it? And I asked the publisher, and he said yes.
Well, great.
And so it was relationships. I had developed a relationship with the publisher, who's a great guy. He's retired now, but his name's Bill Black. And he let me write a story for his flagship comic book, and it was very well received. We did a bunch more stories for FemForce, and then Ed said, "Well, why don't you do your own characters?" So, in the early 2000s, I published a book through IndiePlanet.com,
Hmm.
using
Yeah.
Kablam as a publisher
Yes.
and as a printer, and that was called Va 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 Voom, which is the
Okay.
name of my company. All the old style comics. I had become a fan of Golden Age comic books because AC Comics reprints a lot of the old public domain comic book stories from defunct publishers.
All right.
They all had names like Wow or Pow or Zam.
Yes. Yes.
Woot Woot. So I thought Va 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 Voom would be appropriate, since my stories were always going to be about attractive well-endowed heroines.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
so
Hello Nurse was also a good brand name, I think. Hello Nurse.
yes. So yeah, so I did 3 issues of Vavavoom, and that was an anthology of basically 8-page segments of stories over the course of the 3 issues, with different characters in each story. So I had a sci-fi heroine, I had a kind of pulp detective heroine. I did a story based on Norse mythology for one of the issues. I had a superheroine. I had a jungle girl. Yeah, so I have lots of different characters, and my jungle girl character has been probably my favorite to write, and probably the best received of all of them. So when COVID came and I started listening to, a lot more YouTube, I thought, hey, this crowdfunding thing looks interesting, and I have some stories that have already been written. They've been published in black and white, but very few people have really purchased them. And I could do some new stories and throw in some of the older stories and get them colored and relettered, because I had originally done the lettering, and I'm not a professional letterer, so I thought I would get a letterer. And I picked Alina as the first book and called it Tantalizing Adventures, and so that's how the crowdfunding came about. Basically, I was listening to some of the bigger podcasts, and they were into crowdfunding. Your boy Zach and EVS, and I retired 2 years ago, so I've had time to turn my avocation, which was writing stories about heroines, into some extra money in retirement. So
sure. Yes. That's interesting, man. John says, Paul Mike, I'm in Lexington, Kentucky.
Yeah, okay.
Mhm.
Lexington and Louisville are sort of rivals.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You have
University
competing, like football.
competing. Lexington is the second biggest city in Kentucky, and
Okay.
but it's where the University of Kentucky is, and Louisville has the University of Louisville, and Kentucky is a very big basketball state. So
right. Okay.
Yeah. So I actually like Kentucky. I follow and root for Kentucky basketball, unless they're playing the University of Louisville, and then I root for Louisville.
Well, a little bit of competition. That's good. That's good, especially within the indie comics sphere. I believe John is also a creator. So yeah, cool. Welcome, Ice Queen. Welcome.
Hey, nice to meet you.
Nice to see you. Nice to see you. So were you a reader of mainstream comics also? Because Femforce is more like they were successful, but it's still indie, right?
Yes. Yeah. I started as a 6-year-old reading Flash and Wonder Woman and Batman. Then as I got a little older, I started reading a lot of Marvel comics, Red Sonja, Conan. I like the fantasy stuff from Marvel. I did start reading Fantastic Four here and there. Avengers I always liked. I found later on, when I became more aware of writers and artists, that I kind of followed Roy Thomas around from book to book without even knowing it. I was reading his Avengers stuff, and then I read his Conan and Red Sonja stuff, and then when he went to DC, I read his Infinity Incorporated book. So I'm a big Roy Thomas fan. He's kind of probably my favorite comic books writer, and I love George Perez's artwork. George Perez on Wonder Woman, I think, is the definitive run on that series. And so I'm a big mainstream comics fan. until probably the last 15 years. And then I found that I was buying the books and flipping through them, and there wasn't much story happening. And, you know, the art was pretty, but I just lost interest because I wasn't getting anything that grabbed my attention. So the only book I was still like actually looking forward to was Femforce.
Femforce, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. Yes. There has been a big shift within the mainstream. The entire company back then, it's completely like Marvel, DC. These are different companies now. They've different principles, different methods of producing their books. Different people working there. So yeah, things change, man. But luckily, we have the indie scene right now.
Well,
So
absolutely. And that's, what I found is since I started, because I'm not just crowdfunding books, I'm backing a lot of crowdfunded books. And I've really enjoyed just about every book that I backed. Wraith of God from Aaron Lopresti was fantastic. And it's based on a character that I liked when I was younger, and that I actually knew the creator before he passed away, because it's based on the original Ghost Rider that Magazine Enterprises published back in the Golden Age. And Dick Ayers was the creator of that Ghost Rider. And Dick then ended up working for AC Comics, and I met him at conventions and got drawings and bought stuff from him and became friendly with him. Even got a commission piece from him. So when Aaron was doing a story that he said was inspired by that character, I was quick to pick it up. And it was, it's not the Ghost Rider character, but you can see the influence, and it's a great book, Wraith of God. I'm waiting for the second one. I've backed the second one. Von Klaus, Monster MD was fantastic.
That's a good one. Yeah,
I really enjoyed that one. And just down the line, I mean, the books I've gotten, I've enjoyed. So I think the indie comics and crowdfunding, at least the ones you're getting through crowdfunding, and the ones that you can learn about through YouTube, where you get to kind of get to know the creator and get to know the backstory and get excited for what the comic book that they're putting out. That's, I think, the coming way to go. I mean, at least for me, I haven't been disappointed.
Right. Did that also inspire you to do your own crowdfunding campaign?
Yeah, I think so. And I knew I also saw some of the complaints and pitfalls that people were experiencing, and late campaigns, and so I wanted to make sure that I had everything set up so that I would be delivering right away. And I actually was fulfilling before my campaign even ended. So
it was the previous campaign, a different campaign than this one.
No, Tantalizing Adventures is fulfilling right now.
Oh, really?
It's been fulfilling since the end of September, so about a week.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I have the books in hand. I mean,
show us. Wow. Wait. Solo. There we go. Look at that.
So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
How does it feel, man, to have your own book in your hands?
It's really, really cool.
I know, right?
And I love the way it turned out. It's really got a nice feel to it. It's thicker pages. It's I still have some of the ones with the spot gloss cover, spot gloss on the cover for both. I actually have two versions of the cover, because Bill Black from AC Comics did a cover for me. And
excellent.
This is based on an old, I think it's Jumbo Comics cover with Sheena.
All right.
So it's been a blast, and I've gotten to, like I said, I got Bill Black actually did the cover for me, which for somebody who's an AC Comics fan was, I'm beyond the moon over that.
Yeah, man, fantastic.
Yeah, so it's
Fantastic.
very, very cool.
Wow, that's excellent. So this is your first creator-owned book, right? This is your
In terms of crowdfunding, I mean, I have Vavavoom is
oh
still
yeah,
available on Indie
yes,
Planet,
it's true.
but it's in black and white, not color, and it's it's an introduction to the characters that I'll eventually, hopefully, crowdfund their stories in color.
Right. So these stories, they're still available on Kablam?
Yes, on Indie Planet. Yes, Kablam Indie Planet. Yes.
Oh, sure. In Indie Planet, it's called, yes. And are you planning to do new stories with these characters, or will the current stories, will you bring them over to the crowdfunding scene?
It's well, for instance, in this book, 2 of the stories were previously published in black and white. Actually, one of them was only published, half of it was published,
right?
Because I stopped producing after the 3rd issue. I had kids and just ran out of time and energy to put out comic books, especially when I was still working a job. But the plan is, some of the stories are kind of introduced to characters, so I would use those stories as an introduction, have them colored, have them relettered, but then add new stories, and then crowdfund that new book that's got some of the old stories remastered, and then the new stories with that character as a big book, because this book is 92 pages. It's got 80 pages of stories in it. So it's not a small, it's not a small book, and it's not a single issue kind of comic book. It's, 80 pages of stories is almost 4 issues of stories.
Yes. How long did it take you to produce that? To produce the book?
Probably about a year, from start to finish. And some of that was just me, not working fast enough in terms of coordinating. Oh, I've got the colors done. Now I can send it to the letterer. Oh, I need to do pre-production work on it. I need to get extra pinups, to fill out pages and edit I needed to edit the book. So a lot of that was on me just not working quickly enough. But then again, I didn't start the campaign till I knew I had 98% of the book done. So so it all told, it probably took about a year for the new stories to get done.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and you wrote it all, right? You're
I'm the writer for every story. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so there are different artists depending on the story, though.
Yes. So how did you learn how to write comic books?
I learned how to write comic books.
Was that a strange question?
It's something I've never really thought about. I don't know that I've learned how to write comic books.
Okay.
So in my day job, I was a writer, a technical writer.
Oh, okay.
So I have writing skill. I can put words together in legible, readable ways. And I've been a comic book reader for a number of years, so I understood a little bit about full script and the Marvel method and these different ways of doing things. When my friend Ed Coots, who does the bulk of the art in this book, asked me if I wanted to do a story, if I wrote a story, would AC Comics publish it? And AC said yes. Then I had to actually sit there and think about writing a story.
Yeah.
And I wrote it full script because I saw it as almost a movie playing in my head. And so, I had ideas about, well, I want this to look this way. And so I wrote a full script story: page 1, panel 1, panel 2, panel 3.
Yeah.
And that's what Ed drew, making some corrections to things that I had written that weren't possible. I would have several actions occurring from the same character in the same panel.
Oh yes,
And,
yes.
he'd be
That's a
like,
no-no. Yes.
You can't.
No.
I can't draw him drawing the gun, shooting it, and the bullet going through the person all in the same panel.
Yeah.
Whatever. So, working with the artist, I learned be cognizant of too many panels on a page. Leave room. If you have a panel that's got a lot of dialogue, make sure that there's not something that's going to be covered up in the panel by all your speech balloons, and just kind of technical things that you don't really think about when you're reading a comic book. But as a writer, you've got to leave space for the word balloons. You've got to, if you're trying to have a sense of drama or impending doom, you want things to be tighter in, and if you want to set the landscape of where you're at, you can draw out. So those things I've kind of picked up as I've written stories. I have done a couple Marvel Method stories for AC Comics, or I did one for AC Comics, where it was an action-based story. It was going to have very little dialogue. So I would basically just say, this is what needs to happen on page 1, and then this is what needs to happen between pages 2 and 3, so that we end on this kind of turn the page panel, and then this is what happens, the next, and that worked out really well. And it was that story was actually a silent movie type story, so the pictures told the entire story, and the artist, I had a basic outline of what the story was supposed to be, but he did the bulk of the interpretation, and that was a Jungle Girl story. So that's, you learn by trial and error, I guess. You talk to artists and they tell you, I can't do that, or this page is going to be too cluttered. Can we make the story a couple pages longer and expand this out a little bit? And so that's how I learned to be a comic book writer.
Yes. I know that some people within the indie scene still do the Marvel method. I know Mark Polton does it, for instance, but I can't do it. I write scripts also, but I have to really describe every panel with every action, and it goes along with the dialogue. So I can't process how people actually use the Marvel method. I'm not wired that way, So
yeah, I kind of agree with you. I mean, it worked because I was doing a story that wasn't going to have any dialogue.
Yeah.
But I don't know how it works when you've got things you want people to be saying, or thoughts you want to have happening, or text boxes. And then, I also, as a writer, you have a certain vision for what you want the story to look like and where you want the beats to be in the art, and if you're not doing full script, you can't control that. So, I mean, I've done full script and had artists change the script a little bit. Most of the time they don't change it where it changes anything major, but the panels aren't exactly like I described, but usually that's better than what I had described. So
it's crazy, right? It's crazy. You write something, you have the scene in your head, and then you get it back from the artist, and it looks completely different.
But
you need this minute to process it. This works. Sure, it's fine.
Yeah, and it's a collaboration, and it's interesting because as a writer who sees it the way you see it in your own head, then to see how somebody else sees it in their head. But by giving them what you see in your head, you're influencing how they're seeing the story too.
Yes.
So it usually works out for where the collaboration is better, because they're going off of what you see. They're not completely changing it, or it's not totally not what you want, but it's got another perspective to it from somebody who's drawing the art can make it more dynamic, or can employ a different panel structure to make the same thing look cooler. So it's I think it's the best way to go.
Right. Okay. All right. Paul, let's take a look at your campaign. Let's see what we're offering. What's the dog's name, by the way?
Oh, my dog, Lainey.
Lainey.
Lainey is a hound dog, and she barks for fun.
Right.
she
well,
barks
she's having a lot of fun today.
Yes. I've got multiple doors closed, and you can still hear her barking. So.
Lainey. That's okay, Lainey. All right, let's take a look at your campaign. But before we do that, let's have a little advertisement. There we go. Whoa. Cool.
Yeah, I liked it.
That's nice music also.
Yep. Yeah, that was royalty free off YouTube.
Right.
I got that. I thought it would go well with jungle themed.
It fits.
Yeah.
It fits. Tantalizing Adventures. There we go. It's a thrilling tales of jungle action and peril, featuring the lovely heroine Alina Aguilar. Did you pronounce it Aguilar?
Yep.
Right. You have 22 backers. Excellent. So tantalizing. So why isn't this called Tantalizing Tales? Like alliteration in there?
Because if you look at the title a little closely, it's a T and A.
Yes. Clever. Excellent, man. Okay. All right. Let's. Can you tell us about this concept? What is this story about?
Well, this is one of the pinups in the book.
Sure.
This was Brad Gorby is the artist. He painted this, and he was a long time artist on the FemForce comic book. Probably my favorite artist on the FemForce comic book. He had a multi-year, probably a decade run as the primary artist, and really gave those FemForce characters personality in his art. So getting a pinup from him of my character was kind of on my list of things I had to do in my life. So this is his version of Alina. So I included that in the book. But it's
beautiful.
Yeah.
Looks good, man. This is actually painted, right? This is hand painted. This is not digital, right?
This is hand painted. It's not digital.
Yeah, nice. Really good. So what's the story?
So
What's the
this,
concept?
so there's 5 stories.
Hmm.
The first story kind of sets up the kind of, it gives you an idea of the kind of mentality that Alina has. It's drawn by Rudy Nebres. He penciled it. Rudy Nebres was one of the wave of Filipino artists who came over to work for Marvel in the early 70s. So Rudy Nebres, Alfredo Alcala, Tony DeZuniga, um, they were inkers, Rudy's probably primarily known for his work on Savage Sword of Conan,
Hmm.
which was a black and white magazine-sized format book that Marvel did. Had beautiful, lush artwork, and really some of the best Conan stories are in Savage Sword. Um, they often had covers by Jusko or by Boris Vallejo or people like that. So,
Right.
um,
This is
so
this his work where we're looking at right now.
this is Rudy's pencils, and Ed
Sure.
Coots put an ink wash on it.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, and then I've
Nice,
gotten it
man.
colored, and yeah. So that's the first story, the objective,
Okay.
and that's the name of that story. And it like I said, it basically gives you an idea of her mentality. So she's a very adventurous person who
Is it
doesn't
is
see
it
obstacles.
a little bit like Lara Croft or something? What kind of character is she?
She's a botanist.
Oh, okay.
But she's a botanist. She studies plant life in mostly South America,
Hmm.
but she's originally from Chicago, Illinois. That's her backstory.
All right.
And but she's her checks from the university don't always come through, so she'll take odd jobs here and there. She's worked as a location scout for a movie, for a film production. Um, she's because of her knowledge of the jungle and the terrain. Um, the U.S. government's actually used her as an asset for their operations in South America. The
Hmm.
DEA has used her. So it just depends. She, like I said, she takes side gigs, but she's also, because she's very attractive, she attracts a lot of uh, attention, both good and bad.
Uh-huh.
And so the bad attention sometimes gets her into pickles that she has to get herself out of.
Pickles. Yeah. Yeah. I love this pose here. It's really well done. The curves, the pose, the rendering, really nice. Um, in the chat is Red Dress Press. Hello, Chris. Welcome, sir.
Hello.
Chris, if you need a guest for your show, reach out to Mr. Monsky.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
So this is the second story in the book. This is called Movie Magic.
Mhm.
And she's a location scout for this film production in this story, trying to earn a little extra cash. And it's drawn by Bobby Ragland. He's penciled it. He's been doing a lot of Femforce work recently. So he's
Mm.
been probably the primary penciler on Femforce recently. And or AC Comics, doing Femforce books for AC Comics.
Sure.
So he penciled it. My friend Ed Coots inked it. And like I said, she's a location scout, but she's going to end up getting pulled into having to do some of the stunt work in the production. So,
All right.
um, so
Okay.
that's this story.
All right. Great. And she meets Jungle Girl.
Well, she meets an actress playing a jungle girl,
Right.
and the actress is not really up for all the Jungle Girl actions that were required to be a Jungle Girl. So so Alina has to step in. Of course, the actress is 5'10", 5'11", and Alina's only like 5'2", 5'3". So you got to use a little movie magic to make that happen.
Yes, movie magic and a wig.
A wig, yes.
It will all work out. Great. And now she is like underwater with crocodiles.
Well, this story is called Predator and Prey. Rob Jones is the artist on the story, and it's one of the ones that was originally published in Vavavoom.
All right.
And here the DEA enlists her to confirm that a drug lord is present in his villa. And she, in the course of doing that, he likes to eliminate anybody who knows he's around because he doesn't trust anybody. So, she's in perilous situations in that story. So this is one of the perilous situations that she gets into.
Oh, ooh, thrilling. Eric and Boyd, welcome, sir.
Hello, Eric. Good to see you.
Welcome. We're talking to Paul Monsky today about Tantalizing Adventures, which is now on Indiegogo and on FundMyComic. The link to the campaign is pinned in the chat. It's also in the description of this video. Check it out. Nice art. I like this rendering of her.
Yeah, Rob did a great job. He actually I had another artist lined up to do that story who did not come through with what he was supposed to do. And Rob, I was friendly with Rob from conventions, and he took the story on and just did a really nice job with it. So
yes, yes, that does happen sometimes.
Yeah.
Eric says, "Tantalizing jungle tatas."
Yes, indeed.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Rob was he was an apprentice back when artists took apprentices and to help them learn the craft. Well, Rob was the apprentice of Dick Giordano. And Dick Giordano is a longtime artist and editor for DC Comics. In fact, Dick did a bunch of Wonder Woman stuff. So, so Rob had really good mentor to learn from.
Yeah, man, it's a small scene, right? If you, yeah. Excellent. Then we have a short story called Monsters.
Yes, which has a lot of the familiar old movie characters, that the Frankenstein monster, the a vampire, werewolf. Right. This is a perfect story. One reason I wanted to get the book out and in people's hands by October was so that they'd be able to get this story before Halloween hit. So this is drawn by Ed Coots, who's my kind of main person, my main collaborator on my stuff, and it's a monster, it's a horror tale.
All right, cool, very cool. Destination Danger.
Yes, so this is another story drawn by Ed Coots, and
some nice poses here.
Yeah, it picks up where Predator and Prey by Rob Jones kind of leaves off. It's almost a continuation of that story, and she starts off dealing with the after, the post effects of the events in that story, but that's how the story starts, and then it goes off. She runs into lots more trouble. She's jumped from out of the frying pan and into the fire, basically. So that's Destination Danger. It does owe some inspiration to the old movie, The Dangerous Game, with Fay Wray, back in the 30s.
Okay, yeah.
It's. I'm trying to think of a more recent movie that kind of. It's the hunt, the idea of being hunted on an island by hunters,
Yes.
as prey.
Yes.
So
how does she get herself in all these situations, in all these crazy situations?
Sometimes it's bad luck. Unfortunately, sometimes it's just she's attractive and she attracts the wrong kinds of attention. So
yes, and because it's fun for us. Because it's fun for us. So
exactly.
Let me see. Mixed in to give breathing room to the stories are several pin-ups from artists, including Ruby Nedres, Bill Black, Brett Gordy, Mike Lilly, Ed Coots, and Bobby Ragland. Nice. Painted cover by Ed Coots. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that's kind of. I asked him for something that was reminiscent of the old Doc Savage Man of Bronze pulp covers.
Okay.
And that's what he provided. So.
Cool, man. Bill Black's variant cover.
Yeah. Bill Black. I asked Bill Black for if he would consider doing a cover for me, and he gave me that, and I love it. But I didn't have a story in the book that had an elephant, so I had to write movie magic.
Movie magic came from this illustration.
Movie magic came from this, yes.
Oh wow! Did he also? Oh no! I thought he also drew this logo. But so who made this logo?
Ed Coots made the logo.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Great. All right. This is so the book is done. So it says here 98%. But right.
When I started the campaign, it was 98% done, and
yes,
I got it finished before the campaign ended. So
yes. So this means that everyone, because you're in demand. I take it right.
Yep.
So this means when people back now, you can basically ship it out.
Yeah, I had a backer the other day, and I shipped it the same day.
So you hear that, guys. You can back today, and Paul will ship it as soon as possible. The books are done.
Yeah.
All he needs to do is ship them out.
And if you're in the United States, it's like 3 to 5 days. People are getting them within 3 days mostly.
Right.
So overseas is taking longer because it just takes longer.
Yes, that's unfortunate, but yeah. But all right, let's see your perks quickly here. Your rewards. You get both variants for $40.
Yeah, that's a discount because I see most people when they crowdfund, they'll charge the same amount for each book, but really you're only getting a different cover. So
right.
So I kind of discounted it to account for the fact that the interior pages are all the same, but you are still getting an extra book. So
right.
So that's the best tier to get. You get both covers, and you get 2 copies of the book.
Yes, both covers. That's a good deal. You can get the first cover for $25.
Yep.
And the other cover also. So some books. What is this? Book and pencil sketch?
So that one you would get cover A, which is the painted cover by Ed Coots. But on the inside of the back cover, He'll do a pencil sketch of Alina, an original pencil sketch of Alina.
Oh, wow.
So
That's awesome.
Yeah, we've had a couple people buy that. I think one did that one and one did the inked version. Yeah, so you get original art
Great.
along with your book.
That's awesome. And
that's for inked. So it's $75 if it's just a pencil sketch,
right?
or
Okay.
pencil drawing, and it's $100 if it's inked.
Sure, get it. All right. Great, excellent. All right. Looks nice, man. Looks good. Is there anything else that we need to know about this campaign or about the book or the story?
Well, I will say that so far everybody who's gotten the book that's let it responded to me has nothing but rave reviews over it. So everybody's loving what they're getting. If you buy it, not only I will say I've been throwing in a few little extras into the package, but I don't want to promise what they necessarily will be. It's just everybody's getting something a little extra too. So.
Oh, cool. Great. All right, guys. Check it out. Check it out, guys. The link to these campaigns. These are two campaigns, basically one here on Indiegogo, one on FundMyComic. You can find the links in the chat. You can find it in the description of this video. Please share. If you can, share it on the social media. Talk about this campaign. Talk about this book. Let's do a quick refresh. Paul, you never know. You now have 22 backers. Let's refresh. 22 backers.
Still 22. That's okay. I'm just I have found that usually within a day or so of going on somebody's show, I usually find another backer shows up. So
yeah, it's a constant process, right? You have
to absolutely. You just got to go out there and try to sell your book. I picked up your book because you're out there trying to sell your book. So
you did?
I backed issue 4.
Thank you, man.
I think I backed the digital tier. I want to see it, and then if I like it, I'll go buy the physical copies from you.
Wow, thank you. Yeah, that's one way to do it. I don't see you. You don't do digitals. You're not into the digital.
I didn't put a digital tier up. I'm not sure if I should have or not. This is my first campaign, and I wanted to kind of keep it simple.
Sure. Yeah.
So I wasn't sure about doing a digital, and I wasn't sure if that would result in fewer people buying the physical book.
Yes. Of course, you like people to buy the physical book. Yeah, that's the preference, right? What I've learned through the years is that you offer digitals. Oftentimes, people start there, and then later they come back for the physical books. But it also helps to get people to back you that can't really afford like shipping costs or whatever, and it's basically so they get it for this discount because it's digital, and it can get you quite some sales, right? Sometimes if you're lucky. So it's worth considering, right?
Yeah. I may offer a digital tier on FundMyComic. That's something I've been thinking about now that it's been up for a while and people have had an initial chance to buy the physical copy. I may offer a digital tier on FundMyComic because I think I can add extra perks or extra tiers. I guess they're called perks on FundMyComic.
Sure. Yeah.
On FundMyComic. Yeah. So that may be in the future. That may be something I'll do because it would be very easy to put together a digital tier.
Yes. My digital catalog is also growing, like books that I back from other people's. I
Hmm.
want to support as many campaigns as possible. So these digital perks really help me in that regard. I prefer to buy them the physical, but there's just too much nowadays. It's too
Yeah.
much. John says, I found that digital tiers allow foreign supporters a chance to get the book without customs. That also. That also, John. Absolutely
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
All right. All right, guys. Let's stop the screen right here. So, okay, before we close off, guys, I have my own thing going on. So I like to put this up for 1 minute. For 1 minute, we have Perfect 10 issue 4 is funded uh, on Indiegogo. It's on Indiegogo. Look at this, guys. It has 2 covers. You can both covers are spectacular. So uh, and so the quality you're going to get. This is issue 4. It's the same creative team, right? So we're doing the entire series, so the quality you're going to get. We have some guest artists like Mike Bowden, which is absolutely crazy that we managed to get Mike Bowden to do something for us here. The quality just stellar. You can see the lettered work. So Joel Saavedra, the letterer, he's really doing a great job here. You can read along. This is just a sneak peek. Look at the splash page, double page splash. We are going all out, guys. This is a story. This is a sequence we've been working towards for 3 issues now, and now it's finally here. I'm so excited, and I hope you will love it too. If you like the feminine form, we deliver that also. So you get this free, awesome print from Gorgeous and Grotesque, their first introduction in a comic book, and you can get a character commissioned by Pow himself. Just let us know what character you want. Can be your own character, can be mainstream, whatever. Doesn't matter. Pow will draw it for you, and we are slowly going towards the first stretch goal, which is at 5,000. Will be unlocking this first print, and you have a little sneak peek here. So I can't show you more than this for now, guys. So the link is in the description of the video. Please share it, check it out, stop the screen. All right, Paul, thank you so much, sir, for being my guest for today and for showing us your campaign.
Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome, man. And special thanks to the chat for everyone who showed up today to watch us and who commented. And please like it if you like this. If you enjoyed this conversation, give it a like. If you didn't enjoy the conversation, give it a dislike. And I'm very sorry. I will be back Sunday for the regular A Drink with Brink. So the normal day next Sunday. I forgot who my guest is, but it will be awesome. So I hope to see you guys then. Have a fantastic weekend, guys, and see you Sunday.
Thank
Bye
you.
bye.